Hello, everyone, and welcome to the ninth episode of our SME Empowerment, Entrepreneur Empowerment series. As you know, for those that were here last week, we're going to take you into an interesting content for today in our webinar, which is how to boost your digital marketing. So our agenda is really efficient. As you know from previous webinars, we're going to take you into some interesting tips, tools, and resources, expert views, newsworthy section, and our entrepreneur section. My name is Lejane, and I'll be your host for today. And before kicking off this session, I'm gonna share with you an interesting quote from Wendy that says, "Google only loves you when everyone else loves you first." And this quote, that means Google ranks your content based on the action of others. It doesn't reward you simply because you use specific keywords and strong keywords. It's about how much the users are engaging with this content and how much they are sharing the content and searching for it. So make sure not to focus only on the keywords, but to also focus on what the community around you really needs to know. So for those that they haven't registered yet on the SME Entrepreneurship Empowerment Program, go to potential.com/SME. By going into the page, you can register to access practical learning as well as special offers and to get help from international experts. By doing so, since today's session is about digital marketing, you can easily register and go into your dashboard to access relevant content and important tools for you to have. You can learn about digital marketing, know more about these tools, as well as you can redeem your points with amazing offers that are curated for you. We have a newly introduced offer, as you can see in your dashboard, which you can redeem to have a shout out and exposure on our social media accounts. As well as you can book your appointment with your special expert from here. You can book your appointment with anyone in the marketing and PR category. So we'll start with the tips, tools, and resources. I'm going to introduce my colleague, Mr. Rawzaba Al-Halabi, to take you through this session.
Thank you, Luzain. So, last week we showed you how to add a Facebook pixel. This week we will talk about YouTube. The first ever video uploaded to YouTube was on April 2005, showing one of the founders at a zoo. According to the latest YouTube statistics, the video sharing platform has 2.3 billion monthly logged in active users, knowing that you can watch a YouTube video without being logged in. It's ranked as the second most popular social network. The only platform that has more active users than YouTube is Facebook. According to a YouTube report in 2021, YouTube viewers watch over 1 billion hours of videos on its platform every single day. And 79% of internet users say that they have a YouTube account. So, with no doubt, I could say that your customers are on YouTube. So, you should be there too. Although most of you might already know how to create YouTube channels and upload videos, but let's watch this short video that will show you how to do that.
To be able to upload your videos to YouTube, you should create a channel. Go to youtube.com and sign in using your Gmail account. In the top right corner of the screen, click on your profile icon and then click Create a Channel. Next, you'll have the option to create a personal channel or create a channel using a business or other name. For this example, we'll choose the Use Custom Name option, which is recommended for small businesses and brands. Name your channel and click Create. Then, you'll have the chance to further customize your channel by uploading a profile picture, adding description, and adding links to your website and other social media pages. Congratulations! You've just created a new YouTube channel. Let's start by uploading our videos and share. Upload a video. Click on the Create icon at the top right-hand side of the window, which can be found next to your user icon. Then click on Upload Videos. Then press Select Files to find the video file saved on your computer, or You can drag and drop it into the window. Your video will start uploading automatically. Fill up all the details and click Next. Then choose if you want to monetize your video or not. Click again on Next and choose whether you need to add subtitles, end screens, and cards to your video. It is recommended that you add whatever is available. Click on Next where YouTube checks if there are any issues with your video. Click again on Next and choose the visibility option. Choose Public if you want YouTube to show your video in its search engine. Then click Publish.
So now it's time to optimize your video for search engines. Let's watch this short video that will show you the best practices to optimize your video to reach your target audience.
Let's start with choosing the best keyword that you'll use for your video. YouTube keywords are words and phrases in your video description, title, or anywhere else that give YouTube's algorithm clues as to what your video is about. There are various ways to find keywords for your video. You can start by typing any word into your YouTube search bar, and you'll notice that beneath your search, YouTube lists several related keyword suggestions. You could also find keywords from other popular videos on YouTube, and you could use various keyword research tools. After deciding what your video keyword is, let's start with creating your video title. Your title summarizes what your entire video is about. That's why YouTube and other search engines put so much weight on the keywords that you use in your title. Here are some best practices when creating your video title. Include your keyword in your title. Use catchy and attractive titles. Optimize your title for CTR, or click-through rate. You could add a number, attention-grabbing words and phrases, or get emotional, because studies shows that emotionally charged headlines get more clicks and shares. Next, let's move to writing your video description. A video description is a piece of metadata that helps YouTube and viewers understand the content of a video. Descriptions that are well optimized can lead to higher rankings in YouTube search. Here are some of the best practices when writing your YouTube video description. Aim for 200 plus words. The long description gives YouTube plenty of information which will help your video rank for its target keyword. Focus on the first 2 to 3 sentences. YouTube recommends that you put in the most important keywords towards the beginning of your description. So make sure that you include your main keyword and other important keywords early on in your description field. Optimize your description for CTR. The first 2 to 3 sentences of your description appears in the search results. So start your description off with the benefit someone will get from watching your video. Repeat target keyword 2 to 3 times and add some related keywords. Use original content. Don't write duplicate content in your descriptions. And make sure to add a call to action, link to your website and social media pages, and a few hashtags. These hashtags will appear above the video title and inside the video description box. Here is a template of how your video description should look like. Next, you should select an attractive thumbnail from your video or upload a custom one. YouTube says that thumbnails and titles act like billboards to help viewers decide to watch your videos. Well-designed thumbnails and titles can attract more fans to your channel, encourage viewers to watch through your videos because they know what to expect, and make your content appealing for a broad range of advertisers. Then, choose whether your video is made for kids or not. One more step here. Let's add the tags. YouTube tags are words and phrases used to give YouTube context about a video. Tags are considered an important ranking factor in YouTube search's algorithm. Only you and Google can see these tags. Here are some of the best practices when adding your video tags. The first tag should be your chosen keyword. Use a mix of broad and focused tags related to your video, and use tags that are 2 to 3 words length.
I noticed that there is a bit of lag between the visuals and the sound because it's a pre-recorded video on Zoom. All of these videos, short videos, will be placed on the potential.com/SME, the program's platform, so you can watch them later again anytime. That's all from my side for today. We would like to hear from you in the chat or in the comments section on social media. What are the areas you would like us to focus on in the tips and resources section in the coming episodes? Thank you. Back to you, Lujain.
Thanks a lot, Razaba.
That really makes me motivated into launching my own YouTube channel and monetizing my keywords. So I hope all the viewers, they start to do so. So now let's move to the expert views. I would like to introduce our CEO, Mr. Shadi Al-Banna, to take you into this section.
Thank you, Lujain. Welcome, everyone. Great to be with you, and great to see such a widely dispersed crowd from all over the world. We have people joining us from Hong Kong, from Dubai, from Ghana, from India, Pakistan. Lovely to see such a wide range of attendees, and hope you're enjoying these sessions. So I'm going to talk today about, of course, the topic of the discussion. However, I'm going to start with another angle. In a lot of comments and questions we're receiving on the platform, on the potential.com/SME platform, there have been many requests for funding. So let me ask you here, who wants some funding or financing? Can you respond on the chat? And anyone who's joining us on the live stream, feel free to comment over there. We'll come back to the comments later on. So this is a common thing. A lot of entrepreneurs will rush to try to seek funding. That would be the sort of priority. And even in the chat now, we're starting to see some responses come in, some just to us as panelists requesting funding and finding the, that as an important step for them to grow their business, etc. So let me ask you the next question. What's the best form of funding? Is it to get an investment? Is it to get a loan? What do you think would be the best form of funding? And what's another way that you can get funding? So sometimes when you talk about investments, you need to go and pitch your idea to a VC, venture capital firm, or even angel investors. Or if you want to go to a bank, you need to apply for a loan. You need to set up a process, a form for it. So what is the best form of funding? And let me now move to the next slide to tell you what my opinion is the best form of funding. It's basically your clients. It's not always the obvious. We think that it's easier to go and get funding from a bank or an investor. And if we get that funding, it will basically solve all of our issues and, will help us. But I would really encourage you to focus on getting your funding from your clients, getting real business. That's what matters. That is what is more in your hands. If we were all based out of Silicon Valley, it might be a bit different because the whole environment there is designed towards investment in startups, and it's a high risk environment, high reward environment. So everyone sort of understands that. But since most of you are not based in Silicon Valley, and in many emerging markets, the investment process, the investment cycle, the funding cycle is not really that mature. So the best bet you have is to focus on getting business from your clients. And as you do that, it will help you with the other stuff. So if you then go to the bank and you already have a healthy business, you already have a growing business where clients are paying you for your services, then it's easier to get a loan. It's easier to get funding from an investment firm if they see that there's this growth and there's solid business model, even if you're not necessarily very profitable. But as long as you've demonstrated that there are people willing to pay you for your product or service, paid customers, then it's easier for you to get the funding that you would seek. So I want to really stress on this fact because again, I get lots of comments. We see this and our team is collecting a lot of these requests. about, how can I get access to funding? Where can I get access to funding? And I want you to really pay a lot of attention to getting your funding from your customers. That's step number one. After you do that, then you can go into expanding and getting funding from others. So let's explore given that this theme of this session today is about digital marketing, let's explore the essential elements of a marketing campaign. And these marketing campaigns will help you basically attract clients that will be hopefully paying clients. Maybe not all of them will start off as paying clients, but you want to launch a marketing campaign that brings in these paying clients, and that's how you could grow your business and get funding for your business. So we're going to talk about 4 steps to help you do that. Let's start with step number 1. Have a compelling story. So this is an essential element in any marketing campaign. You need to create a compelling story. And best of all, if that story is your story, a story of how you were able to benefit from the solution that you're offering, or how it affected you positively. Anything that you can demonstrate how, by using what you're suggesting, what you're offering, what you're selling, an end person, an end user can benefit from it, and demonstrate that in a story in terms of where the person was and where would they basically have reached. So, by following this specific keto-based diet, I was able to lose 10 kilos of fat. So if you go and buy my certain app, or if you go and follow this recipe or whatever, you'll be able to benefit the same. Or I was basically struggling to do proper project management, but after I bought this tool, I was able to save X number of hours a week on project management, and was able to also reduce errors, etc. So any story like that makes the listener understand what are you offering, how it has impacted you positively, and then attracts them to basically do the same and try it themselves. So that's step number 1. Step number 2 is that you need to provide credibility. So it's good that I claim that my software or my solution or my app or my product can benefit you in a certain way, but it's very important that I get some credibility behind it. So the credibility can be in the form of other people that have also used that and benefited. So you could go and say, so it's not just me, but also XYZ, and have them talk about how they benefited. Or it could be that you got some coverage in some media, if you're selling some enterprise solution, or that you had a customer, an enterprise customer, if you're selling, again, in an enterprise world, that gave some kind of testimonial that you could put on LinkedIn or somewhere where people can really go and check and see your credibility, that you are credible in that space. So that's a very important next step, so that people understood the story, and now they're basically sure that you have, what you're saying is true. The third important element in a marketing campaign is to include a special offer. So what is it that you're offering now? It could be that you are bundling a certain service with the product. It could be that you're offering a discount, which is the easiest thing. It could be that you're offering some kind of a package of buy one, get one free. So any kind of special offer that excites people about that product or service that you're offering today. And then fourth and final, most important step in a marketing campaign is a sense of urgency. So you do this by saying that this is a limited special offer available only till the end of the month, or make sure you buy the product while stocks last because we only have a limited number of stocks, or buy the product before a certain event. For example, there could be something happening in your country and your offering can be useful for that event. So make sure that you get yourself set up and ready before that specific event happens. So create that sense of urgency that will allow people to take action quickly and not delay that action. So those are the 4 simple steps in any marketing campaign, digital or non-digital. But always, anytime you're doing any kind of campaign, whether it's a paid campaign or a non-paid campaign, it could be something that you're doing on YouTube without any actual investment, but you're just creating that kind of campaign and outreach activity. always reflect on these 4 points: your compelling story, your testimonials that give you credibility, or anything else that gives you credibility, the special offer, and number 4, that sense of urgency. So that's it from my side for this week. I look forward to see you next week and wish you all the best in your marketing campaigns, and go out there, make sure that you use your customers to fund your business, and don't just depend on getting funding or financing from an investor or a loan, because those seem to be easy, but they're much harder to do and much more time consuming. Whereas when you go to a customer, you can immediately start getting your financing and funding, because they're taking and making use of that service. So that's it from my end. Thank you very much, and over to you. I'll continue to interact with you on the chat, everyone. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you, Shadi. That was really interesting. And now let's move to the Newsworthy section. So I'm going to introduce Umayma Musharraf to take us through this section. Over to you, Umayma.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Umayma, joining you from Bahrain. As you know by now, I'm your host of the Did You Know and Newsworthy segments of the Entrepreneur Empowerment series. We use these segments to share useful insights and news that we hope will help you spot opportunities for your business. For today, I'll be sharing with you some very interesting updates and stories, starting with the announcement of an onboarding session, or a free webinar, for game tech startups by the AWS Startup Academy. The agenda covers an introduction to AWS Game Tech, AGT in the EMEA gaming ecosystem, how to manage your AWS journey, along with a technical overview, some resources, a success story, and a live Q&A. You can catch the event live on the 3rd of June. Moving on to the next slide. Here's some news sourced by TechCrunch on Google's partnership with Shopify on an online shopping expansion. Google had recently announced its partnering with Shopify, giving the e-commerce platform's more than 1.7 million merchants the ability to reach consumers through Google Search and its other services. The integration will allow merchants to sign up in just a few clicks to have their products appear across Google's 1 billion shopping journeys that take place every day through Search, Maps, Images, Lens, and YouTube. In addition, Google had made its pitch to online advertisers, describing how its shopping graph would now begin to pull together information from across websites, price reviews, videos, and product data pulled directly from brands and retailers to help better inform online shoppers about where to find items, how well they were received, which merchant has the best price, and more. But before any of the shopping graph functionality can really work, Google needs consumers to find shopping for products via Google actually useful. That's partly why Google made it free for merchants to sell their products across Google this past year, a change that Google says drove an 80% increase in merchants on Google, with the vast majority being small to medium-sized businesses. And that's where the partnership with Shopify comes in too. Although this integration does not mean that every Shopify storefront will be included on Google, the merchants have to take an action to make that happen. It would be almost a no-brainer for them not to leverage the new option. Next, here are some of the digital marketing trends of focus for 2021 by Social Media Today that you can highly consider. Human-drive content like influencer live streams can create trust and tap into the in-the-moment connection that consumers crave. So, an increase in influencer content and live streams is a good idea. And here's why. On Facebook, live viewing spiked by 50% during lockdown periods, while viewings on Instagram surged 70%. TikTok views shot up in 2020, and there's a good chance we'll see this upward trajectory continue to play out in 2021. Secondly, the 2021 Hootsuite Social Trends Report notes that the smartest brands will understand where they fit into customers' lives on social media, and they'll find creative ways of fitting into the conversation. At the core of this is the need for transparency. Now more than ever, brands are having to dig deep to find out how to flourish in turbulent times. A report from Deloitte states that, to do this,
brands need to be deeply attuned to why they exist and who they are built to serve. Another key trend, or rather more than a trend, is the emphasis on sustainability. 81% of consumers strongly feel that companies should help improve the environment. The hunt for a greener planet continues, and consumers are actively seeking out brands that are purpose-driven and conscious about the environment. As the world remains a fragile place, it will be key for brands to reiterate their sustainability in 2021. And lastly, inclusivity is key. Inclusivity also became a bigger focus in 2020, with the Black Lives Matter movement highlighting endemic issues that linger within various elements of society. A study by Accenture shows that the cultural shift towards inclusivity is also impacting purchase behavior, with 41% of shoppers shifting away from retailers which don't reflect their views on identity and diversity, and 29% are willing to switch brands completely if they don't show enough diversity. On the flip side, however, brands which openly showcase their involvement in inclusive causes will reap the benefits and drive deeper connections with their buyers. And for more stories and insights like these, don't forget to check out the newly added news section in the potential.com/SME dashboard. That's all from my end for this week, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you.
Thank you, Umayma. All right, so now we're going to move into the entrepreneurs section. So for this section, we're going to hear from you, and we're going to launch a poll so you can answer it. So the first question is, which digital marketing channels are you using to reach out to your customers? Please note that these are multiple choice questions, so you can answer more than one field by clicking on it. So we're just going to wait around 1 minute, and then we're going to share with you the results of all the attendees' answers. All right, so we're sharing the answers now. We're just gonna wait for a couple of answers because some of you guys aren't answering, and I think now you did. So by now, feel free as well to answer your questions in the Q&A box, and we're gonna answer them in a few minutes. All right, and here are the results. So basically, it is interesting to see that 14% of the attendees, they are using video marketing to target or to reach out to their target customers. Also, we have 23%, they also using email marketing, as well as we have 23%, which is actually equal. So both of them, content marketing and email marketing. And the most useful tool to reach out is the social media marketing, such as Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, with 91% of the users using it. It is really interesting to see this part right here, as well as some people that are using the ads display on Google. The SEO and PPC is only 32%. And the second one, the social media platforms that you guys are using. So 82% of the attendees are using Facebook, 59% are using Instagram, 14% are using Twitter, and 41% using LinkedIn. Of course, we have some low percentage over TikTok and Pinterest with 5% and 9% each, and YouTube, we've got 14%. So a big hello for everyone that is watching us on YouTube. And I'm sorry that you couldn't answer the poll, but you can actually type in your answer in the chat, or if you have any question to share it later on. All right, so basically we're just gonna move into the ask away section. But before moving into it, we've received some really interesting questions about the challenges that some entrepreneurs and small businesses are facing in the digital marketing field that I'm going to share with you with my colleague, Rosaba. So let's move on to the first one we got from Chak Udanga.
Okay, thank you, Rujain. So the first challenge is that the Shogun martial arts guy Odanka is the ads are not working for them. So let's move one step backward. The three main angles to watch when launching any digital marketing campaign. The first one is the channel. First, what is the channel or platform you are using? Are your target customers on this platform? For this example here, your target audience are either job seekers or employers, so LinkedIn might be the best platform to reach your audience. The second one is creating a marketing campaign. You'll define the target audience based on their demographics, interests, behaviors, and others. Make sure to choose you're not targeting a broad audience, and also for sure not targeting a narrow audience. The third angle to watch is the visuals you are using in your ads. Make sure it's attractive and catchy. The message is clear, and the call to action is direct and clear too. All of these are different from one business to another, from one region to another too. So there's no right and wrong. Make sure to test again and test again on small scale with a small budget before spending all your marketing budget on one thing.
I'd like to also add something
yes.
here, Rosaba, on with regards to the Shogun martial arts. So we touched on this in one of the previous sessions as well. Think about using content marketing to attract your clients as well. So in the end, if you're in martial arts, there's a lot of things that you can actually show on video, on TikTok, for example, or YouTube or Instagram, that can be a great way to attract people. But as Rosaba was mentioning, you got to make sure that your ads, whenever you put the ads, have a very clear message and a very clear objective. So you could go back to these 4 steps I was going over in the marketing campaign. One, your story. It could be, for example, that you do a compelling story on how martial arts has helped you, and then you get some testimonials from some of your students that have used martial arts basically and have benefited from it, from your activities. And then you could provide that special offer and the sense of urgency to get people to take action with whatever you want, whether they are to join a live class online or to join a physical class. So those are the kind of things, but there's a lot of things you can do creatively beyond just the pure ad when it comes to a solution or a business like martial arts.
All right.
Yes, so the second question, sorry, maybe we lost Chadi a bit. Let's move to the second question. So we got this question about the settings and how the social media apps work changes over time to time. How do we keep up with the challenges? Yes, exactly. This is a real challenge that all people working on digital marketing and mainly social media are facing. All the social media platforms are changing their algorithms every now and then. The best and maybe the only solution is to stay up to date with the latest news to know what is changing and adapt accordingly. There are a lot of trusted websites that post news and updates. A website that maybe I recommend and I usually use and follow would be Social Media Today, socialmediatoday.com. This is a very trusted website that posts news and updates about all related social media platforms. So we'll check if you have any questions.
Yes, Rosaba. So we had a message also from Shak. So it seems there was a mistake. Shak has a
Yes.
jobs, trendyjobbers basically.com, which is another site. So also looking at that business. So we saw the website, Shak, your website, very well done in terms of a website and platform. In terms of the ads not working, it depends. With the jobs marketplaces, you have two sides of the marketplace. You have one side which is to attract the actual job seekers, and the other side is to attract the job providers, the companies that want to hire. And these need to work in parallel, because the job seekers won't be interested to come and even post their CV if they don't find as many jobs offered. And on the other side, the companies won't be able to, offer jobs if they don't see much traffic on the site. So our suggestion is that you specialize a little bit more by picking a particular area that you want to focus on, some kind of area that you want you to specialize in when it comes to job seekers. So one of the companies, for example, that we one of our in our ecosystem of startups is a company called Coconut that does job hiring for hospitality sector, a very niche set of communities from users who are looking for jobs in the hospitality sectors, but also from the clients who are actually posting these jobs. So specializing is a very important aspect for you. Also specializing from a country perspective, because you've opened up your site to the whole world, which is a little bit difficult to get traction. So that's one of the questions we saw here. Another question we saw that and we responded to on the chat, but maybe not everyone saw that, was from India. I forgot to Ajrisha, I think. Ajrisha had pointed out that they have gained 150 points on the platform, but no one contacted them. So be careful. On the potential.com/SME platform, you can collect the points, but we will not use your points on your behalf. You need to determine how you want to use the points. So if you want to connect with an expert, you could use your points to connect with an expert. And for example, on digital marketing or marketing, there are several experts. You could choose which one you'd like based on their LinkedIn profiles. So you need to take that initiative yourself in terms of how you want to use your points, whether you want to use them for special offers or for expert sessions. So that's another question that is important to clarify as well. So that's it from my side. And I think, we could also wrap up the whole session for now, right, Rawza Balujain?
Yes. Yes, thank you, Shadi. Thank you, everyone. See you next Tuesday. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out by email, and make sure everyone who didn't register yet, make sure to register. Goodbye.
Bye-bye, everyone.